sitting around my living room. There's me, there's Danny, there's my sister's husband, Bob. Now, Danny and Bob, they've traveled all the way out from Calgary to visit me here in Vancouver, where I live. Now, whenever Bob and Danny get in the same room, there's only one topic of conversation: music. Now, anybody here a music fan? Anybody love music? Yeah. Anybody remember their first album? The first time you had a slow dance with somebody at the high school sock hop? Yeah, to a lovely, sweet, lovely song. Your first concert? The time you traveled 1,000 miles to see the Grateful Dead or any of your favorite bands? Well, it looks like to me like we've got a lot of great music fans here, but I gotta tell you, Bob and Danny were the biggest music fans I ever met in my whole entire life. Now, my sister's husband, Bob, he now owns a record store. He has 200,000 vinyl albums in his basement, not to mention the rows of CDs, the terabytes of MP3s he's got stored in computers all over the house. But if he was here in Vancouver right now, he wouldn't be in this audience. No, he'd be down at Zulu or one of the closest record stores, hunting through the record bins. He has to find 200,001. Ticky-ticky-da, ticky-da-da-da, ticky-dacka, ticky-dacka-da. He's got a kind of rhythm that he uses as he goes through these albums. It's kind of like an East Indian tabla player. He can get through hundreds of albums in minutes of time. Ticky-ticky-da, ticky-da-da-da, ticky-dacka, ticky-dacka-da. And as he goes, he's separating the wheat from the chaff. And let me tell you, my sister's husband, Bob, he has definite opinions about what is wheat and what is chaff. You don't want to go telling Bob that you think Madonna might have written one or two good songs. I'll never make that mistake again. Now, Danny, he's as big a music fan as Bob is, but he also has the advantage that he went up north to Edmonton. He studied music for 4 years. He knows everything there is to know about the inside of the music. He'll put on an album late at night, Miles Davis's Kind of Blue album or something, and he'll start talking about it. He'll go through it, player by player, instrument by instrument, track by track, bar by bar, note by note. He can talk about the damn thing for 2 hours. There's only 40 minutes of music on it. So for that reason, because of his depth of music, I'd have to say that it's Danny that's the biggest music fan I ever met. And even though the difference between him and Bob, really, it's about as thin as the groove on a vinyl LP. So we're sitting in my living room, we're drinking beer, we're eating 2-for-1 pizza, and we're talking music. Now we start out talking about Bob Dylan. Anybody heard of him? You have, excellent. Now that's the whole reason why Bob and Danny have come to visit me. We all have tickets to go see Bob Dylan the very next night at BC Place Stadium. So we start talking about all the influences on Dylan: Woody Guthrie, Leadbelly, Hank Williams, and then Bob and Danny, they start talking about the influence that Bertolt Brecht and Kurt Weill had on the lyrics and song structure of Dylan. Next, we're talking about the English folk singer Nick Drake, and the line that can be drawn between his compositions and the style of the French Impressionist composers like Debussy and Ravel. And then we're talking about the Peking opera. And then it's the evolution of the North American blues. Which of the two blues players that took the name Sonny Boy Williamson was the better performer? Bob and Danny, they're going back and forth. It's kind of like a ping pong match.